Oh, there you are. Hey, congratulations. Give yourselves a pat on the back. For what? You saved the bees. I mean, it was on the news for a while. There's so much about pollinators, and there's so much neat bee merch you can buy. Look at this. It's adorable. Amazon sells it.
Yay, capitalism.
And I mean, Becky from South Carolina posted this tweet. Look, I just love honeybees. I think we need to save them. Smiley face emoji, smiley face emoji, smiley face emoji. So come on, 3 cheers for you. I mean, the EPA says that colony collapse disorder is on the decline, and beekeeping as a hobby has been booming. So the bees are saved, right?
Unfortunately, no. Society is actually working to save the wrong bees. So what we need to be doing is promoting the diversity of bees in our environment.
But the honeybees...
Well, honeybees are actually 8 species. People have been taught, largely culturally or in school, about the importance of honeybees, yet these represent just a small fraction of the total bees. So we're really missing out on an opportunity to get people to understand really what are bees and to appreciate the diversity of bees and to further recognize that we need that diversity of bees in order to support the diversity of flowering plants that we have, which is around 300,000.
I love the honeybee as much as the next guy, but what is the true diversity of bees? Well, there are 20,000 bee species worldwide, which is more than all the species of birds and mammals combined. 90% of those bees are solitary. 70% of those bees are ground nesting. And of the 20,000 different species of bee, the US is home to 4,000 native bee species. Each one of the bees you just saw, with the exception of the honeybee, is native to Texas.
Well, dear viewer, I'm sorry to say it, but I've led you astray. The bee is very much not saved. But you know, never fear. Project Ground Nesting Bee is here.
I'm Jordan Kuhneman. I'm a postdoctoral researcher in the Brian Danforth's lab here at Cornell University. And I'm the founder and visionary of Project Ground Nesting Bees, which is a large effort, a global effort to bring awareness of ground nesting bees, understand the biology and ecology of the bees, and then utilize that information to support pollination services.
Now, to first understand what Project Ground Nesting Bee is, we have to ask, what is a ground nesting bee?
Yeah, a ground nesting bee is literally what it sounds like. It's a bee that makes its home in the soil. And in most cases, we're talking about solitary bees, some of which will nest in communities or colonially, but they're all individual, meaning that they're all provisioning for their offspring by themselves, but yet they like to return to where they were born, and so they form these aggregations.
Let's follow my favorite bee, Diadasia annivata, the sunflower chimney bee. During the spring bloom, they emerge, mate, and the females begin to build a nest. When M&Ms are not available, the female will lay her eggs on a mixture of pollen and nectar called bee bread, which is fermented with different microbes to preserve it. When the egg hatches, the larvae feeds and pupates and is ready to emerge next spring. Now on to our second question.
What is Project Ground Nesting Bee?
So Project Ground Nesting Bees began really this year with an idea and with a grant that was funded by the Atkinson Center for Sustainability. The goal of this project is really threefold. It is to build a community that is interested in ground nesting bees and use that community to generate materials to help inform the public about the need and about the benefits and about the goals of conserving bees in their local environments.
Project Ground Nesting Bee is a community science effort. It's where the public participates in the research and the data collection. Let's meet some of those citizen scientists now.
There is so much we don't know about our ground nesting bees.
Oh, who's this guy? This is Mark Chow, a long-term resident of Ithaca, New York, an avid bee enthusiast, and a volunteer at the Brian Danforth Lab of Entomology at Cornell.
The behavior side, the conservation side, the mapping and distribution side, and the economic importance side. That's what I'm excited about getting involved with. It's a project that relies on citizen science in order to find these ground nesting bees. And just like I was saying before, finding bees is fun. Finding ground nesting bees and contributing to a project that has this kind of potential, that's something that really gets me excited. I hope other people get excited about it too.
The community science project, Ground Nesting Bees, can help in a myriad of ways, one of which, and the most simple, is visiting their local aggregations and providing new observations from those sites so we can learn the phenology of those bees. Also, keep building, the observational capacity, the awareness that when they see a bee nesting in the ground, that it's something of importance and that they can take a photo on their phone and upload it to the project, and we can gain more localities in order to better understand the distribution and the nesting requirements of those bees.
When Jordan sent out the email to everyone in that project, I saw that there were a bunch of videos on it. And I said, well, shoot, I've got, I can take videos of bees.
This is Carl Sequist, a retired mathematics professor who zoomed in from Texas.
What was amazing about that whole experience was sitting in the nest with probably 1,000 individual nesting holes all around me. It was very much like sitting next to a waterfall or next to a fire, or one time I had the opportunity of sitting inside a pipe organ while the organ was playing. It's just an amazing experience.
But what else can you truly do to help save the bee, specifically ground nesting bees? Well, for starters,
Once you download the iNaturalist app on your phones, you can join Project Ground Nesting Bee and begin making observations. Here we see a would-be citizen scientist trying to get a photo of Groundicus beezilla. Go get him, Tiger.
It's gratifying for a citizen like me, for a non-expert like me, for an enthusiast, a hobbyist, to have one's bee watching not only be just an enjoyment for oneself, but to serve a cause, to serve a scientific cause.
The thing that drives my curiosity, or the thing that's most amazing to me, is the complexity of natural systems. They make man-made things like mathematics seem simple in comparison.
I think bees are having a moment in that they are getting increased attention due to their conservation concerns surrounding bees, but also people are really coming to realize the importance that they play in their food production and also in the general pollination that they provide and the ecological services that they provide. Yeah, Project Ground Nesting Bee is really trying to reach out and connect with people in ways that allow them to see the beauty and also learn the value of bees that are local to where they live. It's about getting people to recognize their local cultural heritage, because many of these bees form aggregations that stay there for tens to up to 100 years. We don't know the upper limit. So they're really a fixture of the communities in which people live, and they offer the opportunity for people to visit, to observe, to learn more about bees, and to visually appreciate and absorb the value that those bees are providing in their environment.
bees, 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 bees. Bees are cool. Bees.